Spot's stage show here at Comic-Con 2013, folks. I'm your host, Chris Waters, and our coverage continues. We're covering Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag now because there's like a giant pirate ship here. And joining me on stage is Darby and Brendan from Ubisoft. Gentlemen, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Hi.
Actually, you're not
Thank
from
you.
Ubisoft.
No, I'm not from Ubisoft.
Works with Ubisoft.
I'm
With
from
Ubisoft.
the building behind Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Okay, so Darby, you guys both work writing for the Assassin's Creed franchise in slightly different capacities. Let's give it out there for the folks. Darby, what's your primary role here?
I'm the lead writer of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Of Black Flag, and
I'm
Brendan?
a co-writer of Assassin's Creed Brahmin, the new comic book that was just announced.
That was just announced, and
Just
I
announced.
was scrolling through Twitter, new Assassin's Creed comic, Brahmin. For those folks who haven't seen the announcement yet, where in the world of Assassin's Creed is Brahmin set?
When we zip back to the past, it's in 1839 India.
In India, so
In
that's
India.
colonial India,
Colonial India.
the subcontinent. So we've got is the character an Indian character? Is it a British character? Is it sort of a Connor, a mixed?
We've
between
released
two
a
worlds?
few preview pages, and you can see there that we do have some. These are designs that you're looking at right now.
Oh,
this
cool.
is Arbaz Mir, our new assassin,
Basmir.
and Piara Kaur,
So
who I'm not going to reveal too much about right now, but.
So not Brits.
But we do, in the preview pages that were released, these are design concepts. In the preview pages, you'll see a couple of British characters. And they may or may not be affiliated with the Templars.
Maybe.
Who's to say?
The Templars seem to find their way in. They're a pretty big tenet of the
get around.
Assassin's Creed world. Yes, they certainly do.
I have a good benefits package, so it's
So,
makes sense.
it's appealing to join the
Yeah.
Templars. Darby, you're here at Comic-Con. Black Flag, obviously you guys are showing it off here, but you're not necessarily on the show floor. You're behind the show floor, docked there's like a giant pirate ship.
yeah.
What is the deal with that thing?
That's a ship we rented out and sailed down. I think it's docked just a little bit north of here. It's called the Star of India. We pirated it. We, as pirates do, we renamed it to be more suitable for our needs. And then we threw a party aboard. There's lots of stuff to do. You can see a live 15-minute demo of all gameplay that the public hasn't seen yet. We have a weapons demonstration by historian Mike Loads that we took on our project. You can get shave and I think a haircut by
like straight razor back there,
yeah,
like just
right there
terrifying
on the
everybody.
poop deck. The weapons demonstrations on the forecastle. We got multiplayer on the tween deck. And it's just full of amazing stuff to see. Lots of pirate history. Get your picture taken in pirate gear. It's a fantastic time. And there's no experience like actually just standing aboard a square rig sailing ship and just feeling the wood and the rope, and it's fantastic. So,
Now, have you done that before as part of this process? Because obviously, naval combat, being on the Jackdaw is a huge part of Assassin's Creed 4. And you seem to have your nautical terms down pat.
Yeah, I went down for a research trip. I went to England, to Portsmouth, which is where they have the oldest existing sailing ship, the HMS Victory, and it's where Lord Admiral Nelson was killed. He fought Napoleon in the Napoleonic Wars. His ship, a very, very famous ship, is dry docked down in Portsmouth. You can go see it. And I went down there a year and some months ago and took hundreds of photos for the team and just hung out there and pretended to be a pirate. And
Nice.
it's really a fantastic experience. I wish more people could do that, but these ships don't really exist anymore.
Yeah,
in
they
too
don't
many
really
places,
stand the
so-
test of time too well. We sort of moved on. Did you get to climb up in any rigging?
No, they forbid that.
That's
Which
probably
is
safe.
weird too, because our lead actor Matt Ryan was talking about. He played a pirate who drinks a lot. Obviously, the sailors all drink a lot, and he was astounded by the idea that you would be drinking all day rum or grog, which is a mixture of rum and water, and then you would go climb up these insanely dangerous ratlins or the rigging, and actually do your job. It's astounding that these guys ever made it more than a year.
Honestly, I mean, and it would be dangerous if it was standing still, but you're on the sea and it's rocking this way and
I
that.
think we had to kick people off of our party last night for doing just that.
Oh, really? For trying to hoist the mizzen mast and all sorts of shenanigans?
Exactly.
We're getting a look at some of the cinematics from Black Flag here. So naval, but the thing, we talked about this briefly at E3 when we had Black Flag on our stage show, but the naval combat here, you guys had it in Assassin's Creed 3, and it was sort of a self-contained episode. Here, it's much more fluid flow from a much more integral part of the experience.
Yeah, we knew right off the bat, when we saw the great naval stuff that AC3 was doing, we knew that the next step would be, we have to do, our favorite word is seamless, right? We have to have that experience where you are like in a fishing village, some shenanigans go down, maybe a fight breaks out, someone runs, gets on their boat, sails away, we get on our boat, we sail after them. We chase them to a small island, they get off, they run off back on land, we track them down and kill them, or sink their boat, or take their boat, take it into our fleet, plunder all their stuff. We needed that seamlessness to make the experience of feeling like a pirate as real as possible, because with the experience of getting out of a city and then going into a loading screen and then suddenly appearing at sea and going, that it breaks that flow, and that flow is what we set out to achieve 2 years ago, and we've really done it well. And
we've seen one of the gameplay demos you showed sort of showed that in action, but it always strikes me as it's such a dynamic moment, because I think, like, all right, you're going to set off sailing, you need to, like, restock the supplies, you need to get all the stuff, like, all tied up. Like, it's a production, but these are pirates. They're ready to go at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, Brendan, India, long coastline there. Brahmin, you guys are, it's the comic, you're just announcing it today. Was it today or was it yesterday?
We announced it yesterday.
You announced it yesterday. So, debuting that here, folks are, already abuzz about it on social media, etc., etc. Is it exciting to, like, have it out there and have folks talking about it?
It's so exciting because we've been working on it for so long.
Yeah.
And of course, not allowed to even mention that we're working on an Assassin's Creed project. I've co-written it with my longtime writing partner, Carl Kerschel. And it's being illustrated by Carl and Cameron Stewart, who both wrote and drew the previous 2 graphic novels, Assassin's Creed: The Fall and the Chain. So this is a good team.
Yeah.
We've been working on it for a while. The fans, Carl and Cameron's fans in particular, have been wondering what they've been working on this whole time.
What are these guys doing? Come on, give us something.
Months of seeing little nuggets of panels and illustrations on Instagram, and Cameron in particular has been, posting a little bit of a face and a really great drawing, and everybody's like, "What are you working on? What is this?
Give it to us.
What is this little bit of technology we're seeing?"
Well, what better time to announce than Comic-Con, right?
Absolutely.
Now, the Assassin's Creed world has, games is obviously sort of where it launched from, but it's in comics and movies and animated shorts and just all sort, and books, and it's all these different places. And so, how, as sort of 2 narrative leads, how do you guys, like, keep everything straight and make sure that it's not just keeping everything straight, but also make sure things are complementary and enhancing each other?
We just go out to the pub every night after work.
That's a good
share
solution.
war stories.
We're so close that we just meet in the middle, and there's a pub right there.
How convenient.
But I mean, you're on the. We have, like, the Assassin's Creed brand was created in this Montreal studio, but as you mentioned, like, this transmedia experience has grown and grown and grown. And one of the things that from the very beginning that we wanted to emphasize was that we wanted every single piece that came out to tell its own story. So the only drawback, I think, with that is that if you don't own a Vita, or you don't own a PSP or whatever, you miss out on some part of the story, or a DS. I started with the handheld games, the PSP and the Nintendo DS. People kind of go like, "Oh, I wish I could play that story," but I think the trade-off is better because this universe expands outward with such a robust sense of, like, depth and history that we're better for it. And I remember the days, maybe just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when you'd get, like, the Xbox version and the Nintendo Game Boy version, and they'd be kind of trying to tell the same exact story, and you'd always be disappointed, like, why don't I just have the Xbox version? So what we want to do now going forward is the strength of a comic, the strength of a novel, the strength of a handheld, the strength of an iOS, the strength of a console. We want to make these titles play to each one of their strengths. And you being on the other end of, like coming in and we saying, "Please make a comic," I don't know what that's like for you to.
Well, I think it's very similar to the way that you folks work on it. We're tasked to bring something to the table we do that, we have a whole lot of ideas and things that we would like. And I have to say that the team at Ubisoft is the best possible team to work on, to work with, insofar as working on someone else's brand. I mean, we only usually get this level of freedom when we work on our own projects. Ubisoft are incredible. When we bring ideas to the table, everyone listens, everyone's happy to integrate as much as possible, and then we start talking about how it works with the brand, how it works with the other games. So it has its germ. All the ideas come from our team, the initial ideas, and then they're sort of shaped by the larger brand team, including writers like Darby.
Well, I know you guys just announced, but can you give us a little bit of ideas about what's going to happen in Brahman? Maybe not what will happen, but what the setting is. You know, we know it's colonial era India.
Man, you want me to show my hand?
I want you to give us a little peek.
Oh, there's some good stuff in there. Like we've got some. We're trying to like meet it out little by little until the release. We're going to release around the time of the game, and we do go between the present and 1839 India. The story that's in the present is really significant and is filled with hints for what you'll see in the future. I can't say much more than that about the hints, of course, but that if you're really excited about Assassin's Creed games and you want to know where everything's going past Black Flag and into the future, there are extremely strong hints in Brahman. Other than that, it's a great story of an Indian assassin during the colonial British rule, finding himself up against this foe that he has had for his entire life. And he has to make a really hard choice, choosing between what he wants in his heart desperately to do and what the Brotherhood has ordered him to do. And at the core of that is a hunt for an object that may be an extremely powerful piece of Eden, the likes of which we haven't seen yet in the brand.
But probably isn't.
But probably isn't, yeah, we don't know. We're just going to dangle it in front of you.
I like listening to you guys talk about the narrative stuff for Assassin's Creed. It makes it seem to me like somewhere exists under lock and key the tome that just charts the next 10 years of this massive, and you guys already know. And it's like you have to like strain to keep it back.
In fact, there was a cabal, a century ago, formed by all of our ancestors who wrote this tome.
We're just carrying out their orders.
We have no choice.
They planned our lives.
This is our destiny.
Well, another step of your life. Big landmark coming later this year as Black Flag is scheduled for release, and the comic Brahman as well. Brendan, you said Brahman's coming around the time of Black Flag. Darby, give us the details. Black Flag is coming out when?
October 29th in North America, and we just announced a North American special edition, so it's got a cool statue and a flag and a game, and it should be good.
And no flintlock pistols.
No flintlock pistols. It probably if you want to buy that version of the game, there's a 1-month waiting period.
All right, folks. Well, if you're here at Comic-Con, go check out the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag ship. It's just behind the convention center. And Brendan, Darby, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Much appreciated.
Thanks for having us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back live here on the stage show with some Killer Instinct momentarily. But first, we're going to go to the show floor and check in with Hyperactive Monkey. Not sure if that's literal monkeys or metaphorical. We'll find out.